Good evening, all. Thank you, everybody, for the wait. Welcome to episode 15 of the Midweek Mixup podcast. And today we are thankfully joined by our regular panel, and only our regular panel, which is a nice welcome change. We can relax a little bit today. Relax and have some fun with all of you lovely, lovely people. We will get through straight away to our introductions. So first and foremost, Boxenberger, how are you doing today, brother? What you been up to?
Thank you. Thanks again for having me. I'm doing great. Besides the news that Germany is going back into lockdown, everything is fine. I've been playing some games. Just finished Final Fantasy 15. Really glad I got or powered through that boring start of the game because at the end I really enjoyed it.
But you got through it.
I got through it. And well, then I started the Doom DLC.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
We are off for a good start here.
Good job for a bunch of grown-ups,
everyone.
Oh, man. But Doom DLC, how's that?
The Doom DLC, Among Gods, or what it's called.
Yes.
And that one is kicking my ass. It's really, really hard. I'm dying a lot, but it's still a fun game. Yeah.
I haven't actually seen many people playing it as yet, so you're probably the first person I've had a chance to speak to about it. Is it much different from the kind of difficulty on the
it's straight up a continuation of the main game. What I really liked is, and I think every game should have that, they had a kind of a mini tutorial at the beginning of the DLC to bring you back into the game. Because whenever I didn't play a game for 6 months or so, I completely forget the controls and mechanics and everything. And they had a mini tutorial to bring the experienced player back into the game. And that really helped to get me started again. But then it's just, it's a little bit more difficult than the main game, I would say, the DLC. And the main game was actually pretty hard, in my opinion.
Yeah. It's very fun, though. It's very fun, but
absolutely.
Certain areas can just kick your ass.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But it's such a fun game to rip and tear the demons apart and micromanage your ammunition, your health, everything. This is just awesome, the game. Yeah,
sweet. And you did mention, of course, you eventually got around to finishing Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah.
And you liked it in the end. I
liked it in the end. I really did. I thought the beginning was really boring. But when you continue a little bit in the game, I don't know, around chapter 4 or 5, it really becomes more linear. And there the pacing picks up. You don't have to do these boring card drives that you have to do in the beginning of the game anymore. Yeah. And the story really gets to you. The world is magical. It's a great game. The final fight was a pain in the ass, but it was really a good game. Really liked it. I hope I can find the time on the Xbox Series X to play the DLC.
It is. There's a lot of DLC, to be fair. There's four expansions.
Yeah, something like that. The menu is full with expansions.
How did you find the kind of main villain, Arden?
Great. He was so well done. The way how he was introduced in the game was also really good because you really didn't know, is it a good guy, bad guy in the beginning when he got introduced. But the way how the story ended, then no spoilers here, and how everything resolved, this was really, really well done.
Yeah, it's I like the way that he's kind of up and down. Like you're not quite sure. You're like he's I don't trust him, but he's helping at stages. He intentionally helps you.
Yeah,
he kind of pushes you to do certain things. No, it's really good. I really like I say it's not like one of my favorite Final Fantasies ever, but it's certainly there was work that could have been done to improve it, but it was good.
Which one do you like better, the remake 7 or this one?
The
This,
remake 7.
Oh, see, for me, 15.
The remake is incredible. Really, I have zero complaints about that remake, except that it wasn't the full game because they stopped or after probably 30-40% of the game, it just stopped. It was a cliffhanger, and now we have to wait for years for the second episode. That's probably my only complaint, but they added so much to that game. And the way how they presented that story and the characters and everything, it's just an incredible experience. Final Fantasy VII remake is a must play, definitely.
Yeah, it's definitely a must play. I think it's only because I kind of grew up on the original 7.
Mhm.
So the original, obviously, I've played the entire story all the way through. So for me, it's a bit of a chore. Yeah, it's a bit of a chore waiting. Certainly waiting for the rest of the story to carry on. But it's also, I can see why they've done it the way they have, because it allows a lot more people to get into it. Because if it was still turn-based RPG, that's a very limited amount of people that want to play it.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
Sorry, guys.
Are you laughing, Pat?
No, like the thing that Hettelfin is saying in the chat. It's something I don't... Oh my god.
Tageren.
Oh, hi. And you, on to the next. John, how are you doing today, brother? What you been up to? What you've been playing? If you've been managing to play anything?
Yeah, I've been hitting Destiny quite hard. Destiny 2. Going back into that. I'm trying to get ready for the what's it called? Beyond Light. It's coming out. So, and I'm trying to reacquaint myself with everything because before, it is quite a bit different. Very grindy. It still is a little bit grindy, but not as much as the base game when that first came out. And I've been playing that. And hang on, let's look at the achievements because I never remember. What have I been playing? Apex as normal, although not much this week. I'm getting a bit fatigued with it.
Did you already team up with Boyer?
Nope, he ignores me. He goes offline.
He won't answer me calls.
Yeah, he won't answer me calls. He won't answer the door when I knock at his door. He's just,
Well,
I think he's blanking.
You sound like an ex-girlfriend.
I do know I'm not. No, I've not actually seen him on. I think he's busy with his moving and getting a house and whatnot. So I'm sure once he relocates and is online, I'll probably jump on it because I downloaded that. Is it Cuisine Royale? Yeah. I downloaded that to eventually get to play with him. So we'll see how it goes. But other than that, I played a bit of Red Dead as well, but I'm kind of holding off that until Series X.
Yeah. I think that's a lot of people's problems at the moment, isn't it? You don't really want to jump into anything because you're like,
not even with Red Dead, not even so much for like the Series X patch, just the fact that it's going to be proper HDR because the HDR in there is still not great. Better loading, so
yeah, that's across the board though, and obviously they've, which we'll get into a little bit into the show, but they've kind of confirmed everything's good to go for launch in terms of all the games and backwards compatibility and basic enhancements and things like that. So good news. Patjeuh, how are you doing today, brother?
Yo,
What you been
I'm
up
doing
to?
good. I'm doing good, man. Thank you. What I've been up to, work as always. It's less busy than normal because of the coronavirus. A lot of countries are closing right now.
Yeah.
So that's pretty a bummer. But I'm actually doing pretty good, man. I'm really excited for this
You
podcast
can't say the
today.
C word live during the air. You know that. That can get into trouble with YouTube because of that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. You're not allowed
I didn't know that.
in our video.
you can.
Okay, we'll go for Coca-Cola virus. So,
Sounds better.
Some people call it like
Oh,
the T virus.
yeah, exactly. No, but yeah, I'm doing pretty good, man. Been playing some PUBG as always with Forza Erwin. We had pretty good games last week. We had like, I guess, 2 or 3 chicken dinners. Yeah,
At
2
least two,
Yeah.
but the 2 were back to back, and I think we
back to
got another
back.
one.
Yeah, we
But
got another one the
At least
next
2
day, I
back,
guess.
back
Yeah.
to back. Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
Because we
yeah.
played on Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and yeah, I've been playing some Rocket League lately with Hertog Finn. He's also in the chat, so pretty fun games
My
to
nephew?
play. Yeah, and also with Erwin's nephew. We're playing yesterday, I guess. And yesterday I also downloaded Ghost Recon Wildlands again because that's a game I wanted to try out. I didn't play it yet on my One X, so
Oh,
it was pretty nice to see the graphics and the way it looks, man. Yeah.
oh yeah. It's a big difference compared to the One S to.
Oh
to
yeah.
One X.
Yeah,
Already,
definitely.
that
Yeah.
was already a big step.
Yeah.
In general,
So,
the One X
yeah.
has been a really big step up.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's why I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do with additional enhancements on this.
Mm-hmm.
On the Series X, just to see, because obviously none of these have actually been fully optimized for the new console yet. They've just been kind of ready to port over and take advantage of some of the basics, but not like, right, okay, we're doing a full Series X patch for this game. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do with things like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what else? What else have you been playing? Anything else?
Yeah, I'm still playing Super Lucky Tail.
Yes.
Just for the achievements, because it's a pretty fun game to play, but the achievements are also good. So yeah, it's a fun game to do. And yeah, that's about it, man. Just playing the regular games that I normally play. So
Sweet.
had a chicken dinner earlier today. Was streaming also, and you will get the clips, man.
Yes.
Like promised.
And that will come over. That'll be on the channel soon. So keep an eye out for that one, guys. And you Patjeuh, it's just a Patjeuh video this time. No Erwin.
No,
Erwin
it was solo. It was solo.
Solo
Yeah.
win.
I didn't carry him this time, so.
Oh.
The only thing you carry is ammo so you can shoot people.
Yeah, I shoot you in your ass.
No, that was Vin. That was Vin last time.
Oh man,
Shot him out the car.
Yeah, I saw him. Actually, I shot him in his ass. For fuck's sake. Oh man, we were in the Jeep. That was a fun match. Eh? We should have got a chicken dinner back there.
Yeah.
8 kills.
Very.
Shit.
It was just a shame that we couldn't hear each other that first game.
No, it was really a miss, because we were in a very good position, and in the end they just flanked us. I think that was the missed opportunity, but still got 8 kills, second place, good match. So no problem.
Yeah, very good match. And
You
of
know,
course,
when you say outplayed us, don't you? When you say flank, but you mean outplayed? Was that what we did to you?
no.
Sorry,
No.
I didn't hear him. What did he say?
Is it outplayed?
I don't hear him again. Oh. I only hear bloop, 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 bloop.
Was that me?
That'll be why you lost, because you have selective hearing.
Sorry, Steve.
Anywho, last but not least, Erwin.
I beg your pardon.
How are you doing today, Erwin?
Yes, I'm
Yeah,
not
you
doing
headset.
too, I'm not too bad, man. I put on my Mickey Mouse headset because Steve always looks so good. I thought I will try to imitate. I need to grow the plushy beard still, that I'm okay. But he's growing nicely, Steve. I like it. It's getting him in much better shape now, I see. Yeah, I almost can touch it when I do it like this.
It's in that awkward phase where you can't quite do anything with it, so it's a little bit scraggly.
Yes. You're starting to look like Dan Greenwald, man, from Third 10. You know him?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah, a little bit like Patrick. Yeah.
I think he shaved off his beard not so long ago, but that's different. I'm just joking around. I'm feeling good. I feel energized. I'm looking forward to what's coming in the next almost couple of days. It's a matter of 2 weeks. For the new consoles arrive, so I'm really looking forward to that. Some great Twitter news today hit the fanboys hard, so that's always nice. Been playing some Gran Turismo Sport where you had the Red Bull Challenge, where you had to beat Alexander Albon and Max Verstappen. I beat them both actually, and when I posted my time, it was the place number 300 of the world, so it was not so bad. I was quite quick with
Good,
some
man.
improvements.
Good.
So I played that, and also like Patjeuh said, the PTS, the public test server for PUBG, with the new frame rate mode of almost 60 frames per second, which is very, very smooth. It was lovely to play it. The hit markers were massively improved. I'm not shooting with blanks anymore, so that helps definitely. And we played with Vinny. It was really nice to play with him, with his stone cold English. So no, I'm enjoying it.
Stone cold English.
And I am at work. It's okay, you know, the corona or the Coca-Cola virus. We all know that everybody's having trouble. So I hope everyone is doing fine and healthy. And you know, thanks for everybody being in the chat, and like and subscribe already, man. It helps the channel a lot.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that we've spoke about this before as well, and one of the things that we like about doing this is because we've all been in this situation, and probably will be in this situation for a little bit to come. At least give you something to kind of relax, have a laugh, enjoy something, kind of get together with quite a few people, get with a community, and talk things through, and just be able to kind of forget about everything that's going on at the moment, and just talk about the hobby we all love and enjoy.
Exactly, mate. That's the. I hope everybody is also tuning in for that, right? Just to have some fun and not so serious, and just talk games and everything we like. So hope we maybe could take your mind off all the trouble that is going around.
Yeah. No subtitles, Gunstar. It's I'm just gonna have to
We
get
have
used to
subtitles.
it. Gonna have to get used to it. Gonna get him headphones with a translator built in, so just like
Subtitles.
oh hi. But before we get into today's topics, obviously we want to cover off a few of all of the giveaways that we're doing. So we have 3 giveaways today. The first one will be at the halfway point of the show. So Erwin will be choosing and giving away F1 2020 to one of the members in the chat and subscribers. So that's down to Erwin to choose who he wants to give that away to. And at the halfway point, obviously he can stop and announce his winner. Second will be from Marion, who's giving away a copy of Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So again, going into, it'll probably be about another 10-15 minutes after Erwin has announced his giveaway. Marion will choose his winner for Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And last but not least, another 10-15 minutes after that, we will do the largest giveaway, which is the custom Xbox Elite controller by myself, but that will be decided by the full panel. So what I will do at that point, whilst we're making that decision, was put on a game video that I'm sure you'll all very much enjoy. If you haven't already seen it, it's by God's Geek. It should get you all hyped up. Once that video is finished, the winner will be announced. We'll just debate in that time. So hope you enjoy the show in the meantime. And we'll get on to today's topics. So first and foremost, kind of one of the topics that's relatively started this week was the news that Cyberpunk 2077 has yet another delay. So I wanted to kind of touch on that first. We'll start with Archimedes. So, but what's your kind of thoughts on the Cyberpunk delay on this occasion? One of the things I've marked down there for the topic, of course, was the kind of distasteful backlash that they've received yet again for this.
Oh yeah.
What's your kind of thoughts on it?
I was relieved. I was so relieved because let's face it, if Cyberpunk comes out, it's game over for everything else. And there are so many great games coming that I actually want to play, like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, The Falconeer, stuff like that. And then, of course, the PlayStation 5 comes out on November 19th. I want to play Spider-Man. there, and this gives me room to play these games, and then from December 10th on, over the Christmas break and everything, it's Cyberpunk in a polished state, and it is like it is. I know that people are excited for that game. It's my most anticipated game by far, no doubt. But there is this famous Miyamoto quote. Yeah, a rushed game is bad, but or forever bad, and a polished game or a delayed game is eventually good, or something like that. I don't know, but you know that saying from Miyamoto, and he's absolutely right. For me, that's absolutely fine. I have enough to play. Tomorrow I'll be starting Watch Dogs Legions. Yeah, I bet that game won't be finished before the console comes out. So there is no lack of games. My only hope is that they take that time and bring out the Xbox Series X enhancement patch then at launch. Yeah, but we will see.
Is the game so big that it will never be polished like completely? Are they maybe too ambitious?
Yeah, I mean, with these huge open world games, you will have bugs, no doubt, and we will see some glitches or whatever. But I think that the thing is really for them. They said that in their statement. They released that game now on like 8 or 9 platforms simultaneously. Yeah, it's of course PS4, PS4 Pro, Xbox One, Xbox One X, Series X, Series S, PS5, Stadia, PC. Yeah, so many platforms, and we all know here in Europe we are going into lockdown again, and it's not looking good in Poland as well. So I think a couple of days extra polish is definitely not hurting them. I have no doubt that the game will be amazing, even if it has some bugs. The Witcher also had some bugs when it came out, and I experienced a glitch here and there. Nothing game breaking. Yeah.
No.
But it is kind of weird that they first announced it's gold, right? They fully announced it, and then they backtrack. So probably they found out something.
Yeah,
that was a major issue, or else you don't delay it with a month, right?
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, gold is just a state that the game runs from start to finish, and that it can be pressed on a disc. That is what gold means. Gold doesn't mean the game is finished. It just means it is in a state that you can press it on a disc. So that's why all developers do that these days. We know that for every game you buy, you have to download this day one patch, and that is what
for years
in between 6 to 8 weeks in between a game goes gold till it's released. And I think it's a good thing that the developers are not sitting still in these 6 weeks and still try to polish the game. And if they need a few days extra because of this whole situation we have going on globally right now, who cares? I think it's a. Does anyone really fear he has nothing to play until Cyberpunk comes out?
I think you've got a point. It's just a lot of people that are very say it's fake concern. There's a lot of people that are thinking there's something not right or something's going on. It's not. I mean, it's an extra 3 weeks. I'd rather it be delayed than it be broken. Of course, in The Witcher 3, one of the funniest bugs was when Roach just kept, like, he was half mounted on something and he kind of danced every 2 seconds, or got stuck into objects or wedged into things. The Roach was kind of one of the worst bugs in there. But again, they could say it. They eventually did patch it, but it was more of an amusing bug than anything else. I think specifically for this, there is no lack of games on any console. Yes, there's probably a lack of exclusives across the board. And now we know, of course, one of PlayStation's kind of launch area titles has also been delayed to next year, and will now be a PS Plus title. But other than that, it's fake concern to me. There's so many games to play on launch that push, especially of size. Like you say, all of them are big open world games. There isn't a small game coming out. There's no small game.
Yeah, I mean, Assassin's Creed Valhalla will keep us occupied for hundreds and 150 hours or something like that. Yeah, so.
Yeah. And then Watch Dogs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Is it really fake concern, or is it just managing expectations, right? Every time with a delay. I mean, I saw death threats and all those kind of bullshit. I don't agree with that. I think people need to acting like an adult and don't act to a developer like that, like not to anybody, because I think death threats are a line that you cannot cross. But that aside, I think every time the delays, people can be a bit frustrated about it, right? They're looking forward to a great game, and I understand the disappointment. Only they show it completely wrong, right? It's okay to delay a game, but maybe they need to manage maybe their expectations as well as a studio, right? Just maybe take a little bit broader time, or just make the time lapse with announcing your date maybe a little bit later. I don't know, but manage expectation a little bit. But in the first place, people need to stop acting like fucking babies, because that pisses me off.
Yeah, man.
And how can you threat a developer for a game that you are looking for? I mean, mind-boggling sometimes. Internet really.
They didn't even play the game yet, so it's pretty weird that they do it.
Even
but
if
also,
the game sucks, death threats are never funny. These are also people that do their jobs and do their best.
Yeah, exactly.
The best they can do. No one deserves a death threat for anything. Yeah.
No. Especially over gaming. I mean, come on. It's a thing that should be fun, right? And those guys, they experience crunch for months. So, joking, of course, but they're working on a game that they probably fully love. They're super passionate about. Then you cannot treat people like that. And sometimes I'm really curious who's behind the camera saying those bullshit stuff, right? Because I think with such things, people can just say anything without having any repercussion. I think some people should be accountable when you say such things. So give him some jail time or whatever, just to grow up and act normally, because I don't like such shit. And it's starting to see it more and more, and it's really sad behavior. It needs to stop.
Yeah.
I mean, Neil Druckmann also got a lot of death threats after The Last of Us 2, because people didn't agree with the ending or the thing in the beginning, and it's just ridiculous. It's still an entertainment product we are talking about here.
Yes, exactly. And if you not agree with somebody, you can share it, but please do it on a normal way, right? Where the platform Twitter is used for, I think, just to be open and have normal discussions, but not giving people death threats. It should ban somebody's IP for life, I think, on a platform like that, right? They need to act harder on such things, because I think it's unacceptable. People need to stop.
If it was real life and you got death threats in real life, you'd be reprimanded by the police, the authorities.
I go to the police,
Yeah, exactly. No.
It's just ridiculous. Especially like you mentioned, it's over a video game. It's just pathetic. Sean, what's your kind of thoughts on the entire, both the delay and the threats?
The delay is disappointing. I think as somebody really looking forward to it, it's disappointing, but it's understandable. If they want to put out the highest quality they can manage, and it might take 3 more weeks, and that's fine. I'm not overly bothered by that. We've waited 8 years since the first announcement. So 3 weeks, and it's disappointing, but I'll get over it. I'm sure crying into my pillow tonight, I'll be fine. As for the treatment of the devs, all I can really say is exactly what I said last week. And it's done by a bunch of cowards who, I don't know whether they were bullied at school or they think that they can bully people. I just think it's disgusting. I think there should be a custodial sentence for people like that. Like I said, if somebody was to come to me and give me death threats or do it online or whatever, I could easily go to the police and that would be dealt with appropriately. And I don't see why that's any different just because of the medium we're in. But yeah, it's just a little bit disheartening with just how toxic some people within the gaming community can be. Especially at a medium we all profess to love. You know what I mean? I find it... I mean, it was kind of well played by Neil Druckmann. I think it was Neil Druckmann, or was it... who's the thing you forgot of war?
Corey
Barlow.
Corey Barlow. Well, I think I can't remember which way round it was. It was one of them was getting death threats, and the other one then replied, "First timer." You know what I mean?
It was Neil Druckmann.
Neil Druckmann,
was complaining, and Corey said, "First time." Yeah,
yeah, which is kind of funny, but it shouldn't have had to been said in the first place.
Yeah,
nobody should have to give any account, let alone death threats, for their artistic vision for something. I mean, if you want to complain, do so, but don't be a toxic piece of shit about stuff.
Yeah. Exactly.
If they're anything like me, that just makes me even more stubborn. That's not going to change my mind. I'm going to be like, if that's how you think, I'm doubling down.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't they release a trailer also for The Last of Us 2 with something like that? You know, it is like it is, or you cannot change it, or something like that. They released, I think, a trailer, right?
I think they did, yeah.
Or a death diary with something, you know, it is how it is, or something like that, right? I think it was in it.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, with Last of Us 2, I've not played it because I know what happened to a certain character and it disappointed me enough for me to go, I'm not really interested right now. I might later on play it, but at the moment, because I thought the character was a really cool character. And it's one of those things, you know, when you watch a long-running TV show when your favorite characters that gets killed off. And then you can't then, well, for me anyway, I can't then go back a couple of years later and rewatch it because I know what happens to my favorite character. It depresses me. So it's kind of a bit like that.
The story behind it and what you got to do, that's you really need to play it because, of course, that what happens is very disappointing. But the feeling that you get when that happens and when you get drawn in the story after that part, let's say, or what you're going to do, and you're going to see it from multiple perspectives, that is Superman. You need to just go through that feeling and enjoy it to the full because the game is so good, Sean. It's really good. I
probably will end up playing it, just not now.
I think I'm gonna wait until I have the PlayStation 5 because I've got too much of a backlog anyway on the Pro. Far too much of a backlog that I need to get through before I jump into another big game like that. So I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait off and play it on PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
I did enjoy the first one. It wasn't to me. It wasn't one of the big games of everything. But I think I jumped on it too late anyway. That much hype around it. I think I was overhyped by the game and just expected like the best thing since sliced bread. But the game by that point had already been out. 6 years or something.
Yeah,
so I had exactly the same. Drew, exactly the same. When I played it, I was like, okay, so this is all the fuss about, right?
Yeah,
it was a good game, definitely. I liked it a lot, but people were acting like it's the best thing, like sliced bread, indeed. And it was a good game, nothing wrong with that. But I didn't understand all the tens or everything that it got high numbers in the reviews. I couldn't understand. But for The Last of Us 2, I can understand because maybe I was hyped also quite a lot, but still everything I think has been improved. And the story is even better, so I think it's a great follow up on part 1.
Yeah, I mean the first one for me is I thought like the storytelling, the voice acting, and everything that was second to none. It was amazing. It was really good, especially for its time. But the gameplay, the actual physical gameplay, was below average for me. I thought it was quite clunky, repetitive, and things like that. The only thing that kind of drags you through it is the relationship between the two characters, and especially when you get near the end, when you switch over, it's kind of like, oh my goodness, what's happening here? And I thought the story was fantastic. It's just like, again, they even make a joke about it themselves, going on about getting another ladder, find me another ladder. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much what it was. Walk, find another ladder.
Pretty repetitive, I think.
Yeah, but it's still an enjoyable game. It still was an enjoyable game.
Sure.
Like I say, I think that's mainly down to the point that we jumped on the game quite late. So by the time we played on it, of course, the controls are going to feel a bit clunky. They're going to feel a bit outdated, but that's because it took us years to actually eventually get on it and see what it was all about. But
True.
it is what it is. I think another thing on the delay as well. I think one of the things that me and Patjeuh kind of mentioned in chat when it was first announced was kind of our thoughts on the whole release date thing for games now. And I think my thoughts personally that could benefit kind of developers as a whole is not kind of given a rough like a quarter to say, right, okay, we hope to release this game Q4 2022 or something like that. And when the game goes gold, then set a definitive release date. Because at that point of gold, you know internally, right, we now know how long it's going to take us to debug the game, so we can release this game on this date. I think at that, I don't know about you, Archimedes, but I think that strategy will probably be working out much better than releasing a release date, hitting gold, and then finding a lot of bugs that need polished, and then having to try and achieve that in a rushed time period.
Yes and no. I mean, from a development point, definitely, I agree. But there's also this thing called marketing. Yeah, I mean, you have to have a lot of stuff into place. Yeah, all the advertisements. You have to have these review events. Well, not during these days, but typically, yeah, they have these review events. These preview events and stuff like that. Then they have a lot of merchandise stuff like they partner up with Coke or whatever, Pepsi or something like that. And you see that with Halo right now. Xbox really relied on Halo being there day one. Yeah, they printed the Master Chief on the box. They have that deal with Taco Bell. They have on several chips and whatever the Master Chief printed on, and now there is no game. So this is really something difficult. They have at a certain point, and I don't think that gold is the right point, because gold is 6 to 8 weeks before the game comes out, and 6 weeks before that you can't set the date. And then get all these marketing deals and everything into place. You have to do that a little bit earlier.
But I think one thing they could do, though, is obviously in terms of marketing, etc., is they could kind of give rough ideas to those that are partnered for marketing as to when that game should be coming out, i.e. which quarter, what date they're hoping to aim it for, but don't release that information to the general public, just to their partners. I think in-house, they could tell shareholders, etc., this is the date we're aiming for. But externally, then that stops kind of all of this nonsense with kind of crowd and fans and stuff kind of getting upset over delays.
Yeah, I totally get that. Totally with you. I don't know if it's in reality that easy. It sounds so easy. But often these kind of business deals are not that easy. And you mentioned one thing, shareholders. Shareholders is a perfect example. You have to make that public. You have to tell, okay, we expect a big income in quarter XYZ, because you have to tell the people why they should invest into your company. And there are a lot of other things as well. Like I said, marketing. And so, for us gamers, it would be good for the typical fanboy narrative and everything. I agree. I don't know whether it will be that easy on the business side.
Yeah. I mean, another thing I kind of thought, seeing kind of Jason Schreier as well, you might have seen the comment if most of you got blocked by this point, but he tried to make a big deal out of the fact that the staff were told at the same time as the general public. But if people weren't aware, CD Projekt Red are a shareholder company. They have to announce to the city, bearing in mind they're part owned by the city, they have to announce everything to the city first before they tell their staff. It's just how PLCs and shareholder companies work. They have to inform the stock market before they inform anybody else. It's just part of being a large share-owned company. So it's not surprising that happened. Of course, staff are going to find out the same way. I've been part of a PLC where that's happened before, when we've had share drops or share floats and things like that. We find out the same time as everybody else.
Yeah.
It just happens. It's just business. And the larger the company, the larger the developer, especially CD Projekt Red, who are the largest developer in their country by a long mile, to the point where they actually help their general economy. And I think people kind of need to appreciate the fact how much they're doing for their country. I mean, the largest kind of entertainment medium in their country comes from CD Projekt Red and GOG. So it's one of them things which, again, things like slandering staff and sending death threats to developers just needs to be abolished.
Yeah.
People, they just it's a game. At the end of the day, yeah, be disappointed, like Erwin said, be disappointed, but it's a game.
But what do they expect? Okay, so you send somebody a death threat, and then they will release the game earlier?
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Probably that's what they're expecting, but
Hell, I mean, how stupid can you be? It's ridiculous. It needs to fucking stop. I hate it.
I mean, to be honest with you, we're perfectly within their rights to cancel it now and still not receive death threats. It's entirely them.
Exactly.
It's their, it's their project to destroy if they want. We're just so entitled these days that we have to have it. You've promised it's going to come out on this date, therefore. Although the only guy I feel sorry for is the guy that double checks and says, "Before I book this date, is it definitely coming out?"
Yes, Poor bastard. Poor bastard.
Yeah, it's just sad, man. But the people are entitled and they are anonymous on the internet, right? That's also the case.
Yeah.
And like I said, some people need to be accountable when you say such things. I'm looking forward when we get a law that somebody gets his ass kicked when they're acting such behavior, because it needs to stop. It needs to stop.
It does. It really needs to stop. Yeah. But it's probably it won't be the last we'll see of it or hear of it. There's going to be more people that do the same thing to different games. I fully expect kind of the development team at 343 to probably get more silly death threats and harassment, especially with the kind of delayed news that the one of the lead directors left 343, and it's still at Microsoft but no longer on Halo Infinite. But he was replaced weeks ago. The guy that was hired weeks ago already took over his position. So no doubt the only reason the news is coming out now, even though Jason Schreier thinks he has new news, which he doesn't, he's got delayed news, is that the handover process is complete. So you can't just leave a job and not, especially if it's internal and you're keeping a job. If you're fired, that's a different thing. He hasn't resigned. He's went into another role. He's been repositioned within the company.
Where's he gone?
No one knows yet. He's just been just internal back at Microsoft somewhere.
Security front door.
Janitor.
Yeah.
It really depends on the job. I had worked in a company once where a guy quit. He went to his boss. He quit. His boss called the security. They escorted him out of the building, and he was out. So
Yep.
Oh yeah, no, I've been in a job. I think it was a call center, and somebody went in for a disciplinary, and there was a security guard waiting for him to fit after the disciplinary. And she's like, "Oh, harsh."
Yeah, so that wasn't really a disciplinary. That was just more formal sacking.
Yeah, no. I think he kind of knew, but he didn't even get to do anything. It was literally the security guard stood outside the door about 5 minutes after he went in. About 3 minutes later, he just kind of looked at the security guard and went, and then just followed him out.
But I mean, I think there is so much going on behind the scenes that we not know of. So this reposition is just a part of it. Some people joined the team also that were already within Microsoft Game Studios or Xbox Game Studios, right? So there's just some repositioning going on from I think multiple people within multiple teams as well. And I think we didn't see the end of it also. Maybe Bonnie Ross maybe will replace to another team as well. Maybe
Yeah.
it's because she in the end has the end responsibility. So she is the one accountable
I
for
agree
this part.
100%.
So
Yeah.
so maybe she should maybe get a different role also. And I'm really wondering when will this game release, right? Maybe they will do it in chunks, like they said, right? And maybe that's even for the better. Not even, of course, we want a total package, but if you see how big that game is on the multiplayer side and the single player, we need to get it's actually two games that we're getting. We just talked about The Last of Us 2. It's only a single player, not any multiplayer that's being released whatever. We still don't know. But Halo is such a massive game that it has a big multiplayer part and also a big single player. So we need to also, but excuses aside, I think they really should take a close look about how things are going, and I think we see the first results, and that's a good thing in the end.
I think one of the things that came off that kind of coincides with both Halo and Cyberpunk is if you have a look at the kind of information that they came out with on the delay for Cyberpunk, and what we found out following that is that the main holdup seems not to be the next gen consoles or PC, because they seem to be all fine and dandy. The holdup is actually current gen and polishing for One X, PlayStation 4 Pro, PlayStation 4 One S. It's getting the older generation kind of running a bit more smoothly. That's the holdup in actually releasing it, and that's the thing that they're trying to iron out. And that's, I think, part of the issue with Halo Infinite. On the side that you've got two games here that were originally designed around current gen that have now got next gen to think about as a primary platform. Where Halo Infinite, of course, now has the issue where do we continue to release this on One X and One S, or do we just push this on the Xbox Series platforms? And I think they're still trying to get it out on all of them at this point. And I think that's their major holdup, is trying to get that game working as good as it can do on old gen tech. Because they know next gen is going to be smooth. It's probably going to look terrific by this point as well. But I think that's kind of the major issue. Going back to the chap who's kind of transitioned out, you would have had to do a handover process if you've worked in a large company before you kind of change your job roles or move into a different role. You have to do the handover process with whoever's taken over your role. So you kind of run them through all the systems, you run them through everything that's currently in place, all the different kind of development plans that you had, all the different staff, in terms of all the leads, so the art leads and the vocal leads and all the different kind of leads of each part of the studio needs introduced to that person that's transitioned over. It's not a quick process, and obviously that guy's taken over. It's probably about a month and a half ago, if not, maybe it's a little bit longer now. So that handover process will have only just been completed. So,
but is it really a technical thing, right? That they're really struggling with the engine, or is there more going on? Because that's really what makes me curious about what is now actually going on. Is the story maybe not right? Is maybe the gameplay not completely where they are? Maybe they are too ambitious, like you said, that current gen cannot run it. I'm super curious.
I mean, you basically gave the answer earlier. The thing is, the bigger a project becomes, the more you have to invest into actual project management. And this project is huge. Like you said, it's basically 2 games. Yeah. And you said it. They have to exchange management because obviously they haven't done a good job. They had more or less unlimited resources, like $500 million.
Yeah. Which the largest for any studio ever.
I have never heard that amount of money being poured into a game without marketing. This was just development costs.
I know, and the main chunk of that $500 million was the new engine.
Yes, it doesn't matter where you spend it. It's $500 million for one video game. Now, you had 5 years of development time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you didn't managed to bring that game into a state where you can actually show it without getting a backlash after 5 years and $500 million. Come on, that is mismanagement. There's no sugarcoating it. It's not because the developers are not talented, but at a certain point in a project, when it becomes big, you have to have good management. And this was obvious is what is going on. And then, of course, it can be technical reasons. It can be the story writing. It can be whatever it is. In the end, a good manager, a good project manager, studio head has to look out that he keeps all the things aligned properly. For instance, one really, really good manager left Microsoft, and it was Rod Ferguson. But look at him. He founded a completely new studio with the coalition. In 2.5 years, they put out Gears 4. And 3 years later, they put out Gears 5. He had his studio intact. He had the technical department intact. He managed to get the story right. He did that. This is what a good project manager does. And I have zero doubt that there are highly talented developers working at 343. I mean, look at Halo 5. We could argue about the story, but technically it's an impressive game. It is, the multiplayer was awesome. It was the best Halo multiplayer since Halo 2. I have no doubt that they have talent in the developers, but you can have the best talents. You can have the best engine programmer. He alone does not make the game. It's a team effort, and on the top of the team, you have to have good management. And this is what went wrong after 5 years and $500 million. This is just how I see it.
I also understood that the engine that they were building was made, let's say, halfway, let's say, something like that. Or maybe
I heard that they started in Unreal Engine and then decided to switch the game to their own engine. I don't know about that. It was a rumor. I would take that with a big grain of salt, actually.
Yeah, but what I understood is, at least what I read the interview, I think, from Bonnie Ross, is that the old engine that they had was quite complicated. They could create good graphics, like Halo 5 was, right? And Halo 4 looks absolutely amazing. But it was quite complicated and it was not efficient. That's what I understood, because it took a lot of work to get it look like that. Yeah. But so they created an engine that should solve the problems, but it seems like it only made it worse. And like you said, if you have a development time of 5 years and you come up with a trailer like that, I think when you look at it on 4K and on YouTube, it looks better. But still, it needs to blow our socks off, and it didn't do that.
Absolutely.
With so much money and people pumped in this product, it's almost at the point that it's ridiculous. And then somebody needs to be accountable, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
100% agree. But it's, again, the accountability, and that's a good thing about them, is they can reposition people. They're a large enough company to be able to reposition people without, in the middle of a pandemic, getting rid of people.
Yeah.
I mean, we've just seen there, we'll not go into detail because we're not going to kind of bore people with statistics, but we've just seen Microsoft with another 30% year-on-year increase overall and 22% year-on-year increase in gaming rev, which is a massive jump for them, especially during kind of obviously what we're in now, but they're kind of profiting on that. A lot more people are at home. A lot more people are getting invested in gaming. So it's a rather large jump in profitability. I kind of mentioned kind of key statistics. We know PlayStation have also had a jump as well, despite kind of coming to the end of the generation. But again, that's specifically just down to kind of everything that's going on right now. So both companies are in a really big position, and both companies also in a position where they can retain staff without kind of firing people to kind of repurpose them. So repurpose people if they're not able to hit the achievements that they need to be able to get a game out. Then thank you for your help. Thank you for everything you've done to get the game to where it is right now. We're gonna change leadership to get this project finished. But thank you.
I mean, that's the role of a leadership,
exactly.
of a leader. Yeah, he gets a lot of money to manage their studio and project, and if you don't deliver at the end of the day, that's also part of the job to then step away and make room for somebody who can manage it.
Yeah, and also again with managing expectations, because I see somebody in the chat also said, Big Turk, like the Slip Space engine that they showed years ago at E3, that was, I think, very impressive. Also the part where you could see the submarine, where you could see the lightning in the water and etc. Open worlds. It looks absolutely good with the smokes and the marines and
texture
everything.
Quality was insane.
Yeah, so
absolutely.
I was like, man, if this is the starting point, it only gets better. And then you see the game running, and I was like, where everything went? Everything disappeared from what we saw, and I think that is not good. It should be at least at the same level as what we saw in the engine trailer that we saw. And if you cannot how do you say that, make those images true, then it will bite you in the ass, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, completely. We'll get off the topic of slight unhappiness and go on to something a little bit happiness.
Can I have 1 second?
You can have a second, Erwin.
Yes,
you can have a second.
Or at least a couple seconds, because I have a giveaway, like we announced at the beginning of the show. And I'm seeing a lot of people in the chat, and I was also asking who has a PC and everything. And I saw also one person in the chat is also a racing fan. So my giveaway is the PC version of F1 2020, and I would like to give Big Turk the game. So
let's go,
Big Turk.
He's the winner.
Congratulations.
Congrats, man.
Yeah, and he can DM me on Twitter, and then I will give him the code. Probably will be at the end of the show, or maybe if I'm too tired, I will fall asleep. I will do it in early morning. But DM me on Twitter. Maybe you already follow me on Twitter. I don't know for sure. But follow me, man, and I will send you the code. So congrats, man.
Congratulations. That's the first giveaway. The next one. So well done, Big Turk. F1 2020 is yours. The next giveaway, of course, in about 10 to 15 minutes' time from Marion is Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So everybody look out for that. When Marion announces it, I will obviously we'll put it on screen there. And that'll be our second giveaway. Thank you, Erwin. Whoop!
Let's go.
For tonight.
Let's go.
Rolling it. Last, let's get on to our next topic. So we have kind of a lot of Xbox information coming out over the last couple of days here. So we will start it with a tease for the next generation. Now, initially, of course, we saw a few accounts saying that they were going to do launch events. Mexico and New Zealand going to do launch events on the eve of the console launch on the 9th. Of course, initially, we kind of temper expectations and just think that that's probably just going to be a launch event for New Zealand, considering they're the first country to launch the console. And also then Mexico, very, very similar. Theirs was in the afternoon, but again, they're doing a launch event on the same day. However, we've then had one of the marketing leads for Xbox kind of comment retweet or quote retweet that Xbox New Zealand account, stating that it is a worldwide event and there will be some surprises. So my kind of question to the panel at this moment in time, even though it's very much speculation right now, is what do we expect from this launch event? What kind of surprises do we think that they might actually announce so late in the day? Again, Archimedes, what do you think, brother? What's your kind of thoughts on that?
Well, I have to advertise now a little bit my latest video because it was exactly about that.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen it or watched it, go check it out. It's exactly about that November event on 9th. Yeah, what are they going to show? Well, realistically, we will definitely hear a lot of the things we already know about. They will kind of reiterate the whole story that we know so far about thousands of games being there at launch, and all your games will run and look better, and all the back compat stuff. And of course, they will talk about some of the games that will be there at launch or in the launch window, like Assassin's Creed Valhalla will definitely be there with a trailer, or Falconeer and games like that. But what I really think is that they do to really get the hype to the maximum. I mean, we are talking one day before the consoles come out, and everyone will be talking about that system. Yeah, I bet they will show gameplay. I have heard from multiple directions now and multiple sources now that they already have a Hellblade 2 trailer ready for quite a while actually now, and that they just have been holding that one off. I don't know whether it will be with gameplay or if it will be another in-engine trailer. But I bet that will be there. I also bet that they show at least for 2 other games gameplay running on the Xbox Series X, because that is the big thing that is simply missing right now. And to be frank, we have to admit that Sony has done a better job there. Sony has shown 4 games, 4 first-party games running on the PlayStation 5. And this is what we are missing there. And you can check out my video. I've said it there. I hear it a lot. The games are not ready, and most of the games will run in Unreal Engine 5. And there are a lot of reasons why they shouldn't be able to show it. But in the end, Fable is at least 3 years and 10 months in development right now. The first time we heard about Playground developing Fable was in January 2017. That's 3 years and 10 months.
Yeah.
At least, because the game was probably started a little bit earlier before we heard the first rumor. So after roundabout almost 4 years, you should be able to show something, at least. I know it won't be ready very soon, probably a 22 game, but at least after 4 years, you should be able to show something. Same goes for Forza. I mean, Turn 10 developed games on a bi-yearly basis. Now they are already more than 3 years in development with the next game, and I know that they have used that early in development marketing phrase. But if that game comes out in 2021, they have a 4-year development cycle, which is huge for a Forza game. So I have the feeling that they might show that, and then I still, and this is just a wild speculation from my side, is Psychonauts 2 is a surprise launch title. That game has been announced like forever ago. They really didn't give much of a launch window or something. They are so quiet about that game. But I somehow have the feeling that this will be, or at least in the launch window, like December 10th, along with Cyberpunk or something like that. It will be very close to launch. This is just me speculating. I have no source or anything. So there are a lot of gameplay things that they can show. Then we have, of course, the rumor about new studio acquisitions. There is a lot of stuff out there, and people think they bought Ubisoft, they bought Konami, they bought, I don't know, Square Enix, and of course Valve. I don't know whether we hear such a big takeover. If we hear something, I think it is a single developer, like for instance Asobo or People Can Fly or something like that, but not a publisher again. And then after that interview from Phil Spencer a couple of days ago, when he was asked, what is it that you are most excited about, or which games from the studios are you most excited about? Something like that was the question. His answer was, he gives two answers. He answered with compulsion, and he answered with the initiative. And I bet those two games will be there. They will be announced and shown. I don't know whether with gameplay or again with the CGI trailer, but at least they will announce those two games. Yeah, that's basically what I think will happen on 9th.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And did you mention? Sorry, did I hear you mention the Crossfire X gameplay?
I bet we
would be there.
Yeah, I don't think
shadow drop.
No shadow drop. We will get a delay here very soon as well into 21. This game is too big to be shadow dropped. It's a campaign from. Pardon me, now I'm blanking. The developers, Remedy, thank you. Yeah, and if you have a campaign from Remedy ready at launch, you don't shadow drop that. I don't think so. I think that game will be delayed. Maybe they show a little gameplay from it, yes, but I don't think it will be there day one.
No, agree. There's not so much hype going on, right?
Yeah, you see, the thing is, Phil Spencer said it, and this is we really need to think about that. They will sell all units they can produce anyway.
Yep.
Both of them, Sony and Microsoft. As many units as they can produce this year, they will sell them anyway. So there is really no reason to do stuff like that and stealth drop Crossfire X one day before, because you don't need people to go one day later in and now I'm buying it because it's Crossfire X is out, because they won't be able to buy a console anyway. You use that in a different way to gain mind share and see what the system can do and so on. And that is what you would use a Crossfire X. A smaller game like Psychonauts 2 could be that surprise, just for the fans, for the fun of it. But I don't think that Crossfire X is that game. If it would have been ready, they would have announced that a few weeks ago to get the hype up.
Marketing going, right? I mean, I think Crossfire X is not a game to shadow drop. It needs to be a bigger title to just drop the bomb and get everybody freaking crazy. Crossfire X don't do that. It doesn't have the name and the reputation in the market, I think, to blow people away. A title like Banjo-Kazooie, for example, that will go. People go fucking freaking out, right? As a shadow drop bomb, it's at launch. People will lose their shit for sure. If Crossfire X, people are like, okay, nice, but if you're gonna drop it, you need an atomic bomb, and then not a fart.
Exactly.
not a fart.
Not a fart. Sean, what are you kind of expecting from it?
I don't know. I've been thinking about it, because at first I thought it was just going to be, game
just
trailers or something like that. Yeah. But they were quite specific with the location. It was at the end of that pier in New Zealand.
Yeah.
They gave the coordinates for. So I really don't know. It's not even like a day event as well, because it's what, 11 o'clock New Zealand time, PM.
Yeah.
So it's not like they've got like a mini fan fest there, or at least I don't think it would be. I think most people would be at home waiting, or trying to queue up the shops, because luckily New Zealand doesn't have the T virus. So I don't know. I kind of agree with Archimedes. And especially with the shadow drop, I don't think it's going to be a shadow drop. Remedy aren't exactly known for timekeeping. So they're normally ones to delay rather than push things forward. So I don't know. I really don't know. I've thought about it. I think the most likely thing is probably just going to be game trailers of stuff we haven't seen that may be coming within the first half of the year or something.
Yeah, I mean, there is also the potential, of course, of a couple of third-party games being there. And I mean, for instance, Far Cry 6, yeah, it is scheduled for spring 21, so in a couple of months, and we haven't seen anything from the game so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, then there is this rumor about the Mass Effect trilogy, yeah, which is basically already leaked, and someone has to announce it, and it's definitely not just going to be EA, yeah, that is too big. So these are also possibilities to be there, yeah. Elden Ring got announced 2019 at E3, or was it 2018? Yeah, we haven't heard.
2018. Yeah. It wasn't there last year, was it?
So yeah, and we haven't heard anything from that game so far. Dying Light 2, Techland, yeah. that game disappeared from the face of the earth.
Yeah, it did.
So there are a lot of third-party games probably going to be there as well, yeah, or could be there as well, yeah.
Do you expect any potential studio acquisitions going on the day?
No, I think it's going to be primarily gaming. Just because it's the launch, I think they'll want to show you what's to come. I think that if there's going to be any gaming thing, they'll do a small fan fest or a digital fan fest, and that's when they'll announce any type of acquisition. I think they want to keep it purely. Yeah, I think they want to keep it purely in the now for gaming consoles.
Yeah. I completely agree.
If they get the timing right, like they did with the pre-orders, right? Because the timing sometimes or this year up to launch seems to be pretty good, right? With everything they do.
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna have something that is blowing our socks away on the night, because they did a fantastic job so far. So something should be coming, something big.
Yeah.
Patjeuh, I agree.
Are you kind of expecting? What are you expecting from the launch night?
I don't know. Like Erwin says, it could be something really big, but who knows? Maybe some gameplays of games that we didn't see yet, of like actual gameplay. So yeah, it's surprised me what they have. So
it's going to be a video of Aaron Greenberg running around with his shirt off.
In the snow with hard nipples with hair on it.
He's like the tractor driver guy from Waterboy, the one who's just like I don't know. Have you not seen Waterboy?
I honestly don't know, man. Just
again, you want to be surprised.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about it. Like you don't know anything about it, so you have some expectations about it. But yeah, let's see what they bring, man. I hope something big.
I hope it doesn't get leaked.
Yeah, me too.
Yes.
Surprises are always the best. I mean, in the end, we have to ask ourselves, what is the intention of that event? And it is not the intention to sell consoles one day later. It is the intention of that event is to get people hyped for the ecosystem. They want to, they will have an event that if the consoles will be in the homes of the people one day later, and people post the pictures on there, they want no problem. They want that mind share with them. And the best way to get that is to sell a promise. And that is what they will do. They will show promises what will come later down the road. Yeah.
That's what Sony's done so well in last gen. Was
exactly
selling the promise of the Gods of War, the Last of Us 2s, you need this because, all right, it might be a couple of years, but it's coming. This is what you want. And I kind of think it might be something big just because of the PlayStation launch. What is it, 2 days later in America? The 12th?
The 12th.
Yeah. So I think it might be something, there might be a bomb or two dropped just to kind of almost try and overshadow a little bit.
Yeah. We shall see. I personally think we will get quite a few things we don't expect. I hope to God. My only hope is that they show some new Hellblade footage. That's the only thing I could really hope for. Again, I've got a lot to keep us occupied over the winter period. Anyway, I've got Valhalla, which will consume me for months. So, and then following that, I have Cyberpunk, and then I've got all the other games that come in between, like the Medium and things like that. So I've got enough games to play through to the new year anyway. So I'm not complaining. At this point, I want to see what we're going to expect from the beginning part of next year. So kind of the first quarter, February, March, and then onwards. Kind of the first quarter, the first half of 2021. I want to see what we've got released, and then that's my hope.
But I think Archimedes is right. They have also a lot of studios, but some of the studios are working 3 or 4 years already on a game, so they probably can show a lot more than we know. And yeah, how much hype can you create by showing off something really good and impressive? So let's see, guys.
So we have to redraw 2 of our giveaways now. So Big Turk already has F1 2020. So Erwin, you have to have a new winner as well.
No,
What?
right?
Really?
That's what you said. Let's have a look. Big
No.
Turk didn't took it because he already had it. Or were you
No,
talking?
no.
No, he's talking.
Yeah,
to
I'm talking to Big Turk. Yeah.
Oh, because
I was like, what the heck?
because
Marion chose Finn.
his name is actually Dennis, and he DM'd me already on Twitter, so I sent the code already on the DM. So I'm quite surprised, and it already happened to me once that somebody fooled me when I was giving on Xbox Benelux. I was giving away Game Pass codes for 12 months or something like that, and I announced a winner, and somebody created an account with almost the same name, only with 1 letter different or something like that, with a capital or not.
Oh, wow.
And he took the fucking code, and I felt so bad, right? So I bought another 12 months of Game Pass or something like that because I felt so shit. But I also felt like really I was taking up straight in the ass, right? Because I got fucked, and I hate people doing that, man. So I'm actually, I was disappointed by that. But I hope this is the real. I hope this is the real Big Turk. The Dennis.
Yeah, he is. Yes, he's confirmed. He has confirmed he is the real Slim Shady.
Okay, and if he's not, then then congrats, Dennis. With the Too bad, Turk.
So yeah, it's Marion just has to announce a new one. Vin already had Assassin's Creed Odyssey, so Marion's going to choose a new winner soon. So GG to Vin for saying that he obviously already has it and doesn't need the code to give it to somebody else. So brilliant. So we will wait for Marion to announce that in the coming minutes. But we will carry on with the show. Before we get into things like unboxing, the news that kind of come out about an hour before the show was the confirmation directly from Xbox that they are the only next generation console with full RDNA 2 architecture and infrastructure built into their console for the next generation. And the wording behind it. We specifically held off announcing our or should we say finalizing our designs until we knew exactly what was in RDNA 2 with AMD. Once AMD had confirmed everything that was in RDNA 2 and Zen 2, we then kind of finalized our design. So they ensured that they had completed RDNA 2 as kind of their kind of GPU kind of technology, then 2, etc., before they continued with the console design. Obviously that has kind of put a lot of spanners in the works for a lot of people that shouted from the rooftops that both consoles were full RDNA 2 and PlayStation 5 had RDNA 3 built into it, and Xbox was 1.5 and so on and so forth. So there was a lot of rubbish going around, of course, previously, and there's a lot of receipts being handed out to a lot of people on Twitter this evening, which is quite funny to see, especially Tim Dog, who's handing them out, especially to all of these tech tech elaborate YouTubers who claim to know, insiders who think they know best, but don't listen to people.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, obviously with that news, they have a partnership with AMD, like a 15-year partnership with AMD. So it's not just kind of an overnight thing. They haven't just created something like any other normal partnership would do to put something into a product. They have literally worked and waited with them to ensure that their product fully works with their next GPUs. Obviously, that inside means that their new 6000 series AMD GPUs are fully compatible with everything that happens with the Xbox Series throughout next gen. To them, of course, that was key. It means that the development process for PC and Xbox was pretty much mirrored, so there wasn't going to be any issues in between there either, and there's nothing going to be held back. There was no things, oh, we don't have this feature, but we do have it on the PC, or we have this on the Xbox, but we don't have this on the PC. That isn't the case. It is a case of, right, whatever you can do on PC, you can do on Xbox, which is obviously really great to hear. Archimedes, I don't know whether or not you're massively up on the tech or had a chance to really read through everything, but what's kind of your thoughts on Xbox's announcement surrounding RDNA 2 being confirmed as fully and only on Xbox Series X?
Yeah, I mean, we've known that more or less for a while now.
Yeah.
We have known about all the features. Definitely, there was nothing new there, but there was always this rumor going around that even the feature set of the Xbox isn't the full RDNA 2, but we have confirmation there now, and I think it is fantastic because, like you said, the compatibility in between the PC space and the console space is now a given, at least if you have a Radeon card, and that is a really good thing, because I have been saying it for a while now. Games will always be developed for the lowest common denominator, and that is at the moment PC. If we look at what is in the consoles, the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox, those are really high-end PCs.
Yes.
Probably 95% out of the PCs out there cannot compete at the moment with the consoles, and that is actually quite interesting now. And all the games that Xbox is developing will come to PC. So whatever you do, you have to make sure it also runs on a PC. And yes, there is no such thing as the one PC. But the real question is, what will be the minimum specs on PC? Yeah. And I sure hope that those get raised now in the future. Yeah, that we have minimum specs on PC also require an SSD. Yeah. Otherwise, we can't take full advantage of the possibilities for that. And VRS is also going to be a big thing. Machine learning is probably one of the biggest game changers in a couple of years, and nobody talks about that. But machine learning has so much potential outside of just upscaling a little bit the resolution. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. Auto HDR is one example, also realized via machine learning. So for the PC space now to really have that, I mean, even the RTX cards from NVIDIA do have it. Yeah, they call it DLSS. It's really a good thing that this is now spread out throughout the PC space, and Xbox supporting all the features is just great. That it's the only console that has the full feature set doesn't come as a surprise to me, because if I've been saying that for half a year or something like that, if Sony would have VRS and stuff like that, they would have announced it. They would have come out by now and said, yeah, stop the stupid narrative. Of course, we have variable rate shading, but they don't. And this is basically the confirmation now, and hopefully puts an end to that discussion. Now we can focus on the games.
But they have RDNA 3, what I heard. So,
Oh, yeah, man! It's a futuristic machine. I mean, look at it. That tower.
It has RDNA 1.5 times 2, right? And it also makes 3. So
Oh,
You know,
motherboard's
the
good enough.
SSD is so fast that it
Yes.
doubles the RDNA to
Yes.
1.5 power, and so
Yeah.
you end up at RDNA 3. Yeah, makes
I
sense.
heard from my sources as well, yeah, and I can confirm it's true. Yeah. That's how easy it goes on Twitter. Then you are an insider, man. That's how it
RDNA
goes.
2.5, that's it.
Oh yeah, or
2.5
2.75. Who knows? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, all the speeds are adjustable in the PlayStation. I
Yes.
heard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing. Another thing. Obviously, we've seen a few people try to when that AMD conference was on, trying to, and you might see my rants on here, but trying to confirm that, or at least compare GPUs, high-end GPUs, to the GPUs inside a Series X and PlayStation 5, as if it's some kind of fan war. You can't compare the GPUs on PC to the Xbox or PlayStation. They have far more. By far more CUs. The top end on AMD's like 80 CUs, clocked at 2.2, but they also have anywhere between 16 and 24 gig of GDDR6, and that's just the GPU. That's excluding the fact that within a PC you also add additional RAM anyway. So then it's not even comparable in terms of performance. So it's pointless to compare them. What I've already said from the beginning on this on here and all the way through is that you cannot compare. Don't ever do it. Never compare PC to console, because it's not the same in any way, shape, or form. Console is optimized specifically around gaming, and gaming only. They don't have to really worry about like background operating systems. The operating system's far diluted compared to on PC. Far diluted. And it's
also with the I/O throughput, right? With the SSD, like Archie is also mentioning. I think Jason Reynolds also confirmed a while ago that the velocity structure engine, let's say, is coming to PC as well. So then you see more benefits coming to PC as well. But yeah, I fully agree with the rest of you, Drew.
Yeah. Wilmy jumping in there. Would love to stay, but I have toxic tricks to put together. I'm a flip-flopping and going with the winning console, Atari VCS.
say hello to Crap Gamer then also.
yeah. Crap Gamer's going to be jumping onto the Nintendo Switch, I think, next.
Yeah.
Most powerful handheld. He's going to be eating well tonight with all of his receipts. Yeah.
And can we give a big shout out to the chat, because I never saw it so active. I think as today it's amazing to see people interacting so much with each other also in the chat. So I want to give them all a big shout out, and also people just try to share it on social media and give it a like. We all appreciate a lot what you guys do, but a thumbs up would help us a lot as well. So thanks for that, guys.
Yeah, massively. It's especially another seeing the consistent kind of growth in the channel, even when we don't have kind of a panel full of guests and things to join us. Seeing over between 50 and 60 of you active viewers every week, especially jumping in the chat beforehand. It's amazing to see. So thank you to everybody so far. And of course, like I say, if you do enjoy it, then like, share. And obviously, as long as you're having fun, that's all that matters. That's all that matters to us. One thing we'll do to follow on from that, of course, today, this week we also seen Phil Spencer's comments on Xbox potentially releasing streaming sticks, USB kind of streaming sticks for TVs, etc. in the future for Xbox Game Pass / xCloud. What are your thoughts on that specifically? On kind of having a streaming stick as an option, another little bit of hardware that can plug in. What do you guys think of that?
It's not something I'd ever use, but I think it's a good idea. Again, when has choice and options ever been a bad thing? It's not ever going to replace the hardware. So if it is a case of somebody has their Xbox downstairs and the in-laws around or friends around or something, and you want to retreat to another room, you can just put your dongle in, play away. Most newer TVs as well are Bluetooth, so you can connect your pad up to that. So yeah, I think it's a good idea. If it's cheap as well, say you get it for like $50, $50 or something like that.
Yeah, to be fair, I mean, I think we slightly maybe touched on this the last time, but I think it's probably going to be maybe closer to maybe 30. I don't think it's going to be that expensive.
What's the price for a Fire Stick?
I think it's vastly reduced now, isn't it?
Let me have a little googly do.
It's already rumored.
Yeah,
so
29 pounds in curries. So that's $35, $40 tops.
Is that it's 50 quid for a 4K Fire Stick, so yeah.
And obviously, we know xCloud isn't 4K anyway. xCloud is just 1080, just to ensure it's smooth. So,
but the rumors were already, I think, 3 years ago, right? When there was very heavily rumored, and I think they draw it back to plan prior to the show, to the E3. So I'm not surprised if they still bring it. I think the market is also more ready for this.
Oh, 100%.
And how cool is it that you can just plug it in your TV even and just go ahead or whatever it's amazing, man. It's options are never bad, and everybody tells you otherwise doesn't understand how business works. And if you can game everywhere and they give us the possibilities to do so, big thumbs up for me.
Well, I mean, can you imagine for somebody who travels a lot and stays in hotels and things?
Yeah, exactly. That was my application for it. When I heard that, I was thinking like, okay, do I really need that? I mean, who hasn't a smart TV that is a potential xCloud customer at least? Yeah.
Yep.
And so they could just release an app for every smart TV and be done with it. But then there are other applications, and I thought exactly of that because before the whole world went into the situation we have right now, I used to travel a lot, really a lot. I spent about 1 or 2 nights a week in hotels. So, for me, that would be perfect. In those boring evenings in the hotels, I just plug the stick into the hotel TV, connect it to the Wi-Fi, and have my games with me. That would be awesome, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you're swapping out one subscription service for another in the hotel.
Both, man.
I think Husk might have a good little point there. Actually, would it be a USB stick or would it be a HDMI stick?
HDMI
stick. Yeah, if it was a HDMI stick, then of course, would it support 120 hertz to be able to do that over? Suppose it depends on the quality of connection, though, doesn't it?
120 hertz streaming. I want to see 60 FPS streaming stable first. The bandwidth for that and the Wi-Fi we would need for that right now, I don't know whether that is a target in the near future. Yeah.
Well, obviously, they still haven't. They mentioned they weren't swapping out the server blades for the Xbox Series until kind of 2021, and then they were swapping from Series. Well, obviously the One S, which is what is in the servers. They don't even have the One X in there at the minute, and I think they'll probably end up putting Series S's in there. It's the cheapest option for them. It doesn't obviously it means that they don't have to have Series X across all server blades, which is going to be the kind of most costly version to put in there. But the Series S also supports 1080p at 120 frames a second with all the bells and whistles to a point. You're not going to really need ray tracing features when you're playing on the go. You're not going to be paying that much attention. Of course, it would be a benefit, but yeah, it's again, like both Shom and Erwin have said, options. Well, options have never been bad.
Guys, you know what Aaron Greenberg just tweeted? Help me out here for some market research. Question: would you be interested in buying an Xbox mini fridge if we made one for sale? It's a poll.
yeah.
He made a poll. I answered yes. I want one.
65% of people said yes,
Yes, it's amazing.
and 26% of people said maybe. It depends on the price.
It's awesome. I love it. I would buy one. You can always when you're gaming. I'm always thirsty, right? So you can install some drinks in the fridge. It's great.
I mean, they need to make a European-sized one because that is just not fitting anywhere in any house.
No, that's for sure.
Like an American fridge? No, it doesn't fit here.
But then he said it's a mini fridge, right? So it will probably be 1 meter by 1 meter.
So
It's American mini fridge,
the
it's
size
than
that
normal.
the size that I have in my kitchen, Erwin, like
Oh,
that
yeah.
small, that would be perfect. Yeah.
That would
Yeah.
be perfect. But
I
you have
get a
Red
mini
Bull.
fridge for here. Get a mini fridge for here.
Yeah, but Red Bull also has those tiny ones, right? Like
Yeah, the
this.
small ones. Yeah. Yeah.
If they make it something like that, man, I would definitely buy it. Yes.
100%.
They need to make it that size that I can fit in 2 or 3 beers and one can of Coke or something like that, and then I'm happy with it.
But also, they need to include the speaker with the sound and the green lights. That needs to stay. That needs to stay.
For sure.
The sound is good. I saw the video of iJustine and she just lose their shit when they're opening the fridge and they were like, oh, it's making sound.
Snoop Dogg as well.
Yeah,
Snoop
Snoop
Dogg's video.
also.
That's funny.
Double G.
Yeah, me.
The third one will be a giveaway at some point. Yeah.
Oh,
There
yeah.
are 3 of these fridges, and one of them will be a giveaway.
Yeah, I heard
But
the winner.
probably it's American only, like always.
No, it isn't. No,
Is it
isn't.
worldwide?
No, it's
Is it
worldwide.
worldwide?
Really?
I saw the notes where you enter, and I saw it was in every country available where Xbox Live is. So I heard the winner will be somewhere in the Netherlands, somewhere in the south of Holland.
Oh yeah, all right. Yeah.
The Westland area.
You just next week we'll just see just a fridge. Erwin will be sitting in the fridge.
Oh man, that would be nice.
But slightly back on topic again. Next bit of news that came out of this, of course, was the unboxings, which we've had both today and yesterday for PlayStation 5 and Series X and S eventually.
Yeah.
We'll cover the kind of main consoles, so we'll cover both the Series X and then the PlayStation 5. First of all, so if we have a look at the kind of difference that we've got there, let's have a look here. Yes, I think that.
You know what's the one thing is that every person that unboxed the PlayStation 5, the first thing they say when they take it out, oh my god, it's big.
Yeah. Now, obviously, the first thing.
It is big.
Yeah, it's absolutely huge.
I have that experience as well, Pat.
Yeah.
No. This the one from Cold, right?
Move over people's heads, Forza.
Oh my god, that's big. Is that what you get told, is it? They're just talking about your PUBG hat. They're not talking about anything else.
Of course.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Of course.
Oh man.
But yeah,
Trending
obviously
topic.
You can see the difference here as well on the designs for the kind of boxing and the difference in quality as well for the boxing across the Xbox versus the PlayStation. I mean, the quality difference. They've definitely put more effort into the actual opening and the unboxing of the Xbox than they have kind of any other console.
Right, gives you the premium vibe. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly that.
That's the difference. That, like you mentioned, it's the premium kind of feel of it. We're going to the kind of unbox therapy here. We'll fast forward this cool guy, but he does ramble on a bit.
But I just don't, the more I see the PS5, the more I dislike it. The console itself, the looks, and the more I see it, the more I like the controller. I don't know why, but I really would like to try out the controller because The reactions so far are super positive. I wonder if other feature will be used in future games, and that's always a question. But I think the size and how it grips and etc. I think that will be a nice improvement. The next Xbox controller will be more or less the same, right? And that's a good thing because it's just a good controller. But I think the PS5, the DualSense controller, can give you something else, and I think that's really nice. Some good innovation there.
Yeah,
I agree.
The what I've seen of as well as the PlayStation controller is there is nice innovation, but my only concern, and it's been a concern from the start, based on the support from the PlayStation for DualShock features, is how many are going to continue to support these features throughout the generation. Like initially, there's going to be an uptake of developers and third-party and first-party games that do take advantage of DualSense. But later on in the generation, as we've seen on the later part of the generation on PlayStation 4, there's not many, especially third-party, there is no support for the speakers or anything like that that's built into the DualShock controller or the touchpad. Like, they don't care about it. So my only concern is, are they going to continue to be as proactive and really keep on top of these features from a third-party point of view? Not first-party, because they will. Will the third-party continue to support all of the DualSense features later on in the generation? Not the beginning. I fully expect it at the beginning. But like 3-4 years down the line, are they going to continue to support it?
How many are going to support it now at launch?
Quite a fair few, I think. A fair few.
But Call of Duty, right? Some sort. And we know the game that Astrobot that is included. But which ones else? Dirt,
possibly. I think was it not something like not Assassin's Creed? Was it not
No,
something?
I think they said about Assassin's Creed with pulling the bow.
Yes.
Okay.
Watch Dogs Legions, I think. Kind of a number of third-party titles have said they kind of implement DualSense support in there. So
but that could be interesting in then. And if it really, but it's I think it's a matter of time and cost also for developers how to implement it. If it's really easy to implement it, then probably they will. But it gives a lot of time spending, and that's why that's also money. Then probably they're not going to invest it in the longer run. That's how it always works.
What ideas people have for it as well. I mean, you've got like your bow and things, and maybe racing you can feel, but I mean, the rumble triggers you could feel when you hit, when you came off the tarmac and things with that. But I think it's like Erwin said. I think if it's easy to develop for, then I think you might get quite a few. If it's a pain in the ass, then it'll be dropped pretty much like the rumble triggers were for the one.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's I find it difficult to know what else they can do with it, whether or not people are going to get pissed off at it as well. And a lot of people have mentioned this. Who wants, when you're playing a shooter game? Yes, it's great. Kind of if you're playing a single player game and your guns jammed to get immersed in it and the trigger blocks and things like that. But you imagine a Call of Duty game online and you get a gun jam or something, or Battlefield, because Battlefield primarily you get things like gun jams. Imagine playing kind of Battlefield online and you get a gun jam and it doesn't let you play the trigger. That's just going to... There's more people going to end up being pissed off than going to enjoy that feature.
Well, that's more down to the developers than the actual feature itself. It's up to them whether they implement that kind of thing, because there's no point having it on... like your Battlefield example, they won't have that on the PlayStation and not have a similar feature on the Xbox. It might just be able to feel it more. But my issue with what's the battery life what's it going to do to the battery life?
Yeah. That's the thing. I think, and they haven't increased the battery life either. Like I think the battery life is still maybe 2,000 milliamp, which is it's 600 more or something. It might not even be that. I think it's 1,800. But it's like 400 more than the DualShock. But they've added like a speaker and the DualSense kind of rumbles into the triggers, and those they're not even. It's not even just a normal standard kind of rumble triggers. They've got kind of circuitry and kind of fine detail and craftsmanship went into it that is going to use a lot of energy and a lot of battery power to kind of keep that stuff going, especially if it's constant. If that stuff is constantly working, like it's been shown by these people playing it in the demos, like when you're holding it down and it shows it like a tension. If it's consistently working, that battery life is going to drain much quicker. And that's things that people don't really think about. They just think, oh no, it's going to be brilliant, it's going to be amazing. Yeah, but I want to see what it's like in real life scenarios. Like, how long does this stuff last without plugging it in?
And I hope you can turn it off if it really jams. Somehow when the game is also jamming and you get some weird trigger motion because of it. I hope there's also an option to turn it off, right? Or else people get indeed pissed off.
Yeah, but again, there's another thing as well. If you think about it, the only thing I've seen is the people that have had a chance to actually play it so far, not just unbox it, but to actually play it, have only ever played the games, especially using the controller, for like an hour at a time. I haven't heard of any of these reviewers or people that have played it yet. Let us know what the battery life is like on these, and we won't, of course, until near at launch, if not after launch, kind of how long the battery actually lasts on these things, because we've only seen them play these things for an hour at a time. Until then, they put it down, and that's their turnover. So I think it'll probably be after launch, because I don't think that kind of news they'll be wanting before launch, or by the way, the control only lasts 2 hours and then you have to plug it in.
Only at the review, right? At the real review. And then they're not so much blocked anymore, but with what they can say and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly. And up until this point, I mean,
it's all being directed more or less. But, still the controller, I think it has a lot of potential, which is really nice. And I think it's actually the best thing of the whole damn console. And it's also, like we mentioned before, if Sony has something where they can bump their chest, they will do it. So they do it with the SSD. We all know it's fast. They do it with the controller because it shows some innovation. So they will announce that. But for the rest, with all the RDNA 2 stuff and all the others, VRS and all the other stuff, they don't announce it because they probably don't have it. If Sony has something that has been shown in the past also, they will scream it off the rooftops, and they just don't do it.
Agree.
That's how Sony is. And But I don't like the looks, man. Look at how shitty it is looks. Ugh.
it's massive.
It's crazy, yeah.
It's massive. I don't have so much problem about it really being massive, but it looks like dog shit. I don't like it.
Yeah.
It just looks no.
I mean, before we continue on with our chat, obviously what we're going to do now is going to have say our goodbyes to Archimedes, who's given me his vote for who he thinks should win the custom elite controller before he goes. So I've got his vote in. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to pause this this little section here talking about the consoles. So if I come off here. And we're going to say our goodbyes to Archimedes for this evening. And
thanks for having me.
You're welcome,
and
brother.
You enjoy the rest of the show, gentlemen. We will be talking next week again.
Yes,
and of course in the chat.
Yes.
Okay.
But what have you got coming up, and where can people find you, brother?
Yeah, everyone can find me basically everywhere at Boxenberger. What have I coming up? I'm already working on the next video. I'm not going to spoil what it is about. I've had a couple of copycats back.
Says you copied me.
Indeed. No, you know what my next video will be about. I told you earlier. No,
I think everybody will love it. I think everyone's going to love it.
Oh, yeah.
I won't be able to do 2 videos this week. Just too much work to do. So expect this one to drop on Monday. But it's going to be a good one.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Brilliant. Well, I look forward to seeing it, brother. And thank you again for joining us. And we will see you again next week as usual.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
All right.
See you
Archimedes.
See ya.
Have a good one.
Buddy.
Have a good one. And everybody else, and then there was 4. So,
oh, yeah.
So for everybody else, what we're going to do now is I'm going to play a tremendous little trailer here that should get you hyped up for the next gen from a good friend here, God's Geek. Whilst this trailer is playing, we'll have a little chat in the private chat on who we're going to deliberate that should win the custom Xbox Elite controller. And once we've chosen the winner, we will end the video. Of course, the video should end by that point anyway. We will announce it, and then I will start collaborating with that person on the design, and we'll go from there and get it built and get it shipped out. It'll take a few weeks to get it done, but it'll be something special. So if everybody enjoys this little trailer here, we'll jump into our little private chat, and we'll go from there.
Good luck, guys.
Good luck, everybody.
Some would call this a revolution. Others would call it a resurrection. But to me, it is so much more than that. This is our rebirth. And you're right. We lost. But I can assure you, with everything in me, it won't happen again.
Patjeuh, wat doe je nou, joh? Die private chat zit hem op
So we have a deadlock in decisions here. So
Oh my god!
No pressure.
Just write it. Pat, just write in your decision into the private chat.
All right.
We'll go.
You're taking a dump? What the hell did you do?
Nee, het is zo.
Oh. Okay, we do have a winner. So, the winner of our Elite custom controller is Drum roll, please.
Let's
UK
go.
Lazarus.
Yeah, baby.
Congratulations.
Let's go!
Go.
Congrats, UK Darius, man.
Unbelievable. Right. This again, we were stuck on between two people, and these two people were extremely kind of positive. Always there, always kind of jumping in the chat. It was pretty consistent from day one. The reason it was so difficult was because these two people are extremely positive in the community. I think one thing I'm going to do is offer up kind of a runner-up prize, because I think I agree on both sides. Whilst I don't have an additional Elite controller to give away that can be customized, I will work with both of these people to have a custom controller. So Dazarus, you are going to get the Elite 1 custom controller. Lest we also had, and this is where the conflict came in, Assassin Looper.
Yeah.
You are also, and this is a very, very final last-minute decision here by myself, but I will work with yourself to create a custom Xbox Series S controller. Again, that will come out just after the launch of the Xbox Series. But if you want to work with me, drop me an inbox. We'll go through running through a design, and I will create a design for you and get something customized. And after launch, get that shipped out yourself as well once we've got that figured out. So Dazarus and Looper, if you drop me an inbox, we will we'll run through designing it, and we'll get everything sorted. I'm looking forward to working with you both and see what crazy concoctions we can come up with for the Elite and the Series X controller. So congratulations to both of you.
Amazing, Drew. And this wasn't planned for the second prize. So what you did is amazing. I think you're very generous. And both should have won, but of course you need to pick a winner. But this is a very good option. What you do, Drew. Big hats off for you, man.
No, it's like I say, it was
Awesome.
the points that were brought up in our little private chat was there. I mean, Dazarus is there week in, week out, and he brings, again, he's positive throughout as well. He's one of the people that have kind of supported us from the start as well. So to thank you very much. And the same for Looper. She's there every week, and so positive. Like, I very, very rarely say anything negative. If anything, I don't think I've seen Looper being negative at all. She's a massive kind of positive influence in the community. So I think it was only right, because it was split down the middle, and obviously that it should go that way, and there should be something else there. So the Elite controller to Dazarus and the Series S X controller customized for Looper. So congrats, guys. Congrats. We will have more in the coming weeks. I do believe Breuer also wants to give away a custom Series XS controller, so keep your eyes out for that one. That'll be after launch. So enjoy, guys. But I'm also planning something big for when we hit 1,000. So when we eventually hit that 1,000 subscriber mark, you will want to be tuned in. It is a console.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, even just like, really?
What?
yes. I'm going to be, of course, the 1,000 mark will probably be kind of into the new year now, but yeah. So
nice.
Keep it up. Let's get this community growing. Let's all have fun in the process. That's all that matters. Let's carry on with the show. Congratulations again to everybody who's won tonight in the giveaways. That's awesome. And again, thank you everybody for the support so far. But let's crack on. So the next kind of point of view, the Xbox point of views we have, was the recent gameplays we've seen for a number of games. So the games that we've kind of been, or at least seen recently, and I don't know whether or not everybody's had a chance to have a look at them, but both Scorn and The Medium. Have you had a chance to kind of look over those, or at least view those gameplay trailers?
No.
Nope. Fair enough.
I didn't see. No, I didn't see. I didn't see any gameplay trailer. Yeah. Busy doing other things, man.
Yeah, playing PUBG.
Of course.
PUBG up.
You could have watched it during the load time.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
During the load time. Oh my god.
But no, for Shom and Erwin, obviously you both saw the trailers for both of those, the gameplay for both of those. What do you make of? I mean, quite a few people have said Scorn just looks a bit disturbing. What do you guys make of Scorn, first of all, from what you've seen?
It's heavily influenced by the whole alien
Cool.
universe, isn't it? So it's going to be freaky. It's going to be really, really freaky. I don't know quite what to make of it because the stuff that they showed was quite slow paced, from what I remember. So
yeah, in terms of the atmosphere and the kind of quality, what do you make of it?
I didn't hear the sound because I had to watch it with the sound off where I was at. But if it's anything like Alien, if you've got like weird noises coming at different angles, you've got the 3D sound coupled in with that. That'd be amazing. I mean, I love the Alien Isolation. Isolation? Yeah, Isolation.
Yes. Yeah.
I love the creepiness of that, so it's kind of got that vibe to it. Although Scorn is more kind of like what you'd expect on like the Alien world, or where you find the eggs and whatnot, where you've got that creepy look to it. So I'm looking forward to that. That'll be something I'll definitely be playing. And for the other one, I'm not quite sure with the two worlds going on at the same time. I haven't made up my mind what I think about that yet. It'll either be really good or it might irritate me. And I'm not 100% sure why that's kind of considered like a next gen feature. Surely current gen stuff could do that. It just depends on how much.
I suppose the problem we've got as well is, again, this is the one thing I don't like about trailers, especially unfortunately from, unless it's Digital Foundry who put out videos on YouTube in full HDR. Thank God for that, because they're the only people that do put it out in 4K 60 HDR on YouTube. No other kind of company seems to do that, and I want Xbox should be releasing their trailers with HDR on YouTube. I mean, surely they can do that. They've got a big enough company, big enough infrastructure. They've got the equipment and the technology to do that. Upload your trailers so we can see them fully, how they're meant to be seen. We've all got HDR TVs. We need to be able to see it properly. I mean, the game itself looks really creepy, though. I don't understand the weapon. I noticed that they kind of looked. If I put the trailer on now for it, let's have a look here. Scorn.
It looks kind of weird. You don't know really what you make out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
But it didn't blow me away, it didn't really blow me away, or something like that. It looks pretty good. I think the graphics on itself look pretty impressive, right?
Yeah.
But it was not for me. Like, man, I really need to play this.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's to be fair, like, we still don't really know what we can kind of expect, though. You know what I mean? We don't know what the game really, what we have to do or anything like that. I mean, obviously the volumetric lighting and the fog and things like that looks nice, but I don't understand this weapon or what is going on.
Also,
what is going on? What is the gameplay point? Like, where are you? Who are you? What is the game about?
Yeah, but it's not really a title where you can really show off your console, right? I mean, I think that is the biggest miss that we have so far.
Yeah.
That we didn't really get our socks being blown away.
Yeah.
And I think this game looks good, but it's not really the wow factor. And really the wow factor is actually the only thing missing, and that's what we hope to see on the 9th of November. But this looks good, but yeah, I don't think this will sell you any extra consoles, let's say, or extra Game Pass or whatever, right? It's not a title like that, but it's pretty cool. And if it's included in Game Pass, for sure I will try it, but it's not a reason to get a Series X, for example.
Yeah, yeah. And then likewise, if we change over there and go on to the other game, of course, which more people are excited about, and that's the Medium's new.
Yes. They had a new trailer with the dev, right? The dev was also talking.
Yeah. There we go. Premonitions trailer.
I liked it a lot, actually.
This is the 4K, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm watching that right now on my TV. But...
So that's sort of thanks. I'm glad he's got subtitles on. means we can talk over him and people can watch it at the same time. But yeah, so this is one of my kind of games that I'm really looking forward to. No, I don't know whether or not everybody's played Layers of Fear. It was a bit of a hit or miss game for me. The story was good, but the gameplay itself had a lot to be desired.
Yeah, it was broken. That's one issue I'm a little bit worried about. Is that Layers of Fear for me was a buggy mess. I didn't even finish it.
It wasn't that, to me, it wasn't even just a buggy mess. See, to me, the problem, other than the fact that there was a few bugs that stopped you from getting certain places, it was the fact that the game itself had no purpose. Like, you could go from start to finish, and death had no consequence. You could die continuously, and it would mean nothing. You could just continue on. I mean, if a game has no consequences to it, it's not a game anymore. It is literally a walking simulator. And unfortunately, that game was just a puzzle walking simulator. So that a lot of reviewers said the same thing. The horror was kind of non-existent after like the first maybe hour or so. There was no horror or thrill about it. It was kind of, okay, what's happened? Okay, oh, there she is again. There she comes back. There was nothing really to it.
From what I understood, this has consequences, right? What you do in the one world and the other.
Yeah.
So I think the gameplay mechanics or the story-wise and everything, what they're trying to achieve, I think can be quite interesting. It's not also something that we really saw before, right? I think.
Yeah.
And it also looks pretty good. Not mega impressive, but pretty good. I also thought there were some people from Silent Hill working on that game.
Oh,
The music,
yeah.
Yeah, so I think the basis can be pretty good. Again, not really a title that you really get a console for, but a good title. And I think it's actually really good in December 10th. Same day as Cyberpunk, right?
Yes.
So that's kind of shitty for them. Maybe they need to get it to the 9th.
Yeah.
But nice to play anyway. So maybe it can really surprise us. And it's actually one of the titles that I'm quite looking for. Yeah.
It is one of the very few that we're looking forward to. But again, we've got quite a few coming up that we're kind of should be excited for. To be honest, I know Patjeuh is going to be excited for this one. So obviously, PUBG. Series X, Series S, and PlayStation 5 confirmation that it will be running pretty much, it is at 60 frames per second on Series X, at 30 at the moment. Yeah, at 30 at the moment for Series S, but obviously you're not getting one of those, so you don't have to worry about that. And up to 60 on PlayStation 5.
But they will update the One S version as well.
Yeah, they've already confirmed that'll get uncapped.
So
who shared the video on? I think it was in the group chat that we have on Twitter. The comparison with the Xbox One X
from Jeff
BTS.
Jeff
yeah,
Grubb.
exactly, and the Series X that you can see in the screen tearing as well.
Yeah,
and also like the locked 60 FPS, no screen tearing. It's absolutely perfect. The game looks so smooth. I cannot wait to get my hands on that freaking game, and then just, oh man, it's gonna be.
I think it will be
crazy.
the first game I think I will try on my Series X, to be honest.
Yeah.
What will be your game that you try the first? The first one that you think, okay, now I got the shiny, nice cube, and I'm gonna position it really good, and then you're gonna turn it on. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Even though Valhalla's the game I want to play on that, it's not the first game I'm going to play on that because I want to sit down and experience that properly. So probably the first thing I'm going to play is quite a few of the back compatible stuff, just to kind of just quickly test it, things like that whilst I'm setting it up. I'm not going to jump straight into Valhalla, but I'm looking forward to that one the most.
We should all jump onto Gears 5 then.
Yeah, Gears.
Yeah, for sure.
Gears 5, PUBG. Test both of them out. Gears 5 and PUBG, I think, for the first ones. Mainly just because I don't want to jump into Valhalla immediately. I want to be able to just enjoy that. I want to actually just be able to invest myself in that game, especially considering it's got a day one Series X patch with all the bells and whistles. I want to be able to enjoy that, not just rush into it.
And Horizon 4, man. Fuck. Can you imagine if we're going to take some pictures with it? Ooh,
Yes. That's going to look pretty.
Oh.
It's going to look very pretty. Sean,
Nice.
what are you going to jump into first of all? Is you going to jump into Gears 5 first?
Possibly. Like I said, I think it was last week. Depends on who's on. If there's friends on, I might jump into a back compat and a multiplayer or co-op or something. Probably Destiny 2. But if I'm on my own, I don't know. Because I don't know. I'm trying to scrape a bit of money together to get either Valhalla or Watch Dogs. It just depends on what my bank balance is like nearer the time, because unfortunately it's right at the end of my pace cycle. So I've got like an extra week after it comes out before I get paid again. So we'll see. If there's no one on and I have the money, I'll probably try and get Valhalla. If not, then it might have to be a back compat or see what's in Game Pass on the day.
Yes, indeed. Erwin, are you PUBG Gears, or what's the first thing you're testing out?
PUBG, man. PUBG 100%. Then I think Horizon 4. After a couple more matches of PUBG, I will do Horizon 4. And then I hope to see you guys online with Gears 5, because we can co-op. And that game I think was already super good looking on the One X.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that game. It was in my top 5 as well, like 2 weeks ago. So I cannot wait to play it with you guys, because this will look really, really good. So really looking forward to it, and also with that we can play together is nice. Huh? So maybe we can stream also while we're doing it. So it will be nice.
Yes, 100%. I'm still trying to push YouTube to do automatic streaming from the Xbox instead of just Twitch.
Yeah, man. I just had the other dude on Twitter also, saying it to Phil Spencer. I think the more we request it, they will for sure look into it. But it's too quiet.
Thing. It's a YouTube thing, though. It's not an Xbox.
But you see, YouTube gaming are really pally with Xbox. Like every time they tweet, it's Xbox. It's the same for like KFC, I think it is over here.
Yeah, but they're also now a direct competitor.
Yeah.
We've got Google and Stadia and whatnot.
Yeah. But
you never know.
It's on PS5, or on PlayStation, so it will be nice that Xbox will have it as well, right? So, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I think it's more the politics between Microsoft and Google themselves rather than Stadia and Xbox.
Yeah.
But, Game Pass is also on Android, and that's also Google. Right? Or the xCloud, sorry, the xCloud service. It's running on Android, and that is
true.
Google, right? So, I mean, one way or the other, there have some overlap. And I think they're probably going to look at it in a business way and not so much in a fan favorite way, right?
Yeah.
Possibly.
Dare I ask, Patjeuh, what's going to be when you pick up a... Oh, he's disappeared. That guy gets up and down more than a pogo stick.
Sorry, I heard my name. My name. Yeah.
It's got a ladder like a hamster, that's what it is.
The freaking door was open as it was hitting the... It's annoying me.
No, it's all right. I was just asking, obviously, when you pick up a Series X, other than PUBG, which we know is an obvious one, what is the first kind of game you're going to be trying out on that console?
Good one, but I was thinking about Ori and the Will of the Wisp.
Oh, yes. Yes, it's a good one, because that's one's getting the day one patch as well, with 120 frames, 4K
Exactly.
HDR, all the bells and whistles as well.
So that's definitely one of the first games outside of PUBG that I will play. Yeah.
Sweet. Looking forward to it. I just can't wait. We've got just shy of 2 weeks to go now until the launch of the console. There's obviously still a little bit to be seen from Xbox and what they've got to announce. But we will begin to wrap up the show for this evening. We'll announce, of course, next week. We have our final show before the launch of the console. And we have Green Pass Gaming on with Flap, Huxley, and VJ. And the topic for next week is going to be quite a simple one. We're going to be reminiscing on the current gen, so going over some of our favourite moments, favourite stories of kind of gaming stories that we've had, some funny moments, favourite games, kind of running through things that really kind of stood out to us this generation, and things that we'd love to see again in the next gen. Really just recap kind of all the best parts from this gen. Go out with a bang. Show off some stuff that might be a bit funny, and also kind of summarize kind of what we hope, or how we hope the launch day is going to go. Fingers crossed there's no delays for any of our consoles.
Oh, man.
I hope it for you guys.
I will go freaking crazy if so, man.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it should be great. Should be a good episode next week. The following week we have Joe from Song of Iron on again, along with Magnus Sanford from Ubisoft Nordic. On it's a day after launch day, to kind of speak about both Valhalla and Watch Dogs Legions, as well as Song of Iron, and then initial impressions of the next-gen console. By that point, the PlayStation 5 won't have even been released yet, so it'll only be the Series X and S. So that should be an awesome little episode. Not too busy. So just two guests, two very good guests there, along with ourselves, just discussing our initial impressions of the console, what we think of it in terms of looks and kind of style and sound, and how it runs, how the games run, what we kind of first think about those consoles. Myself, I'll be doing a live stream unboxing of my Series X on the day as well when when it arrives, whenever that may be. Knowing my luck, it'll be like 7 o'clock at night. Like last thing.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah, it could be anything. Could be anything. I hope it's not. I hope it's like midday.
Oh, I hope in the morning, man. 9 o'clock.
First thing. Knock on the door. A good wake up.
And I actually have a meeting planned now in the afternoon in the greenhouse, and I couldn't do it. Something else. So I'm actually quite disappointed that I have that, because it was actually my day off, but some growers only could go that date. So I'm probably messed up in the afternoon, man. In time. So oh shit.
Fingers crossed that you don't miss your own unboxing of your own console.
Oh man, but probably
get there first.
Yeah, my girlfriend will open the door hopefully, so I will tell her that day stay at home, don't go out of the door. Only get Jesper out of school and then get back home and open the door. Oh man, I go crazy.
Mine's in, and I've got a half day, so mine's in the morning, and then I'm home from about maybe 1:30 in the afternoon. So it's just gonna kill us though if it arrives at like 9:30, and then she's like, she messages, yeah, it's there. I'm not gonna concentrate.
No.
Just want to go home.
But it's exciting. It's an exciting feeling. It always feels like Christmas Eve or something like that, right? When you're a small kid, and it still gives you, even if you're now a little bit older, in my 30s, and I still feel the same. It's incredible, man. So I hope everybody has that feeling as well, because that feeling is always nice, right?
Oh, 100%.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I'm looking forward to that, but next week, of course, we'll be really bringing in the next gen. It's our last episode before the next gen kicks in. So we will go out with a bang. We'll try and obviously we'll just have a bit of fun, kind of reminisce on some of the funny parts. There's been quite a lot of funny nights on PUBG and many other games that we've kind of played over this generation. So we'll cover those and have a bit of fun, kind of going over some old stories. But I hope everybody's had a nice night. Again, massive congratulations to all the winners tonight. All in all, there was
Dazarus and
Dazarus and Lupa for the controllers. Dazarus, of course, for the Elite Custom Controller. Lupa for the Series SX Custom Controller. Then we had, who was the winner again for...
Big Dirk.
Big Turk.
Turk was
Big
F1
Turk.
2020. And
Dennis.
Captain Sly for a copy of Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So congratulations to all the winners. And again, a massive thank you to the chat who's been unbelievably active again tonight. Brilliant community, and I love kind of chatting with you all and kind of seeing you all there every week. Again, we hope to see you again next week. Thank you everybody for turning up, and have a nice night, everybody. Have a good one.
See you guys.
See you later.